What's going on, Blurds? It's your boy Nerd Solo, and we're here with another Blurred Check. And today is a very special Blurred Check because this will be, I believe, the first guest on Blurred Check. Usually we have guests on the other podcast, but on this solo show, it's usually me checking in on you Blurds, letting you know what's been going on in my nerd community and seeing what's going on in the greater nerd community. But today we have a guest. His name is Jay Hero. Jay, how are you?
Hey, hanging in there, doing the best I can, one moment at a time.
That's good, brother. Why don't you go ahead and fully give the people a real introduction, let them know who you are, where you're from, and what you're all about.
Yes, my name is, as you said, Jay Hero. I am from the Detroit area, so Michigan. So we are also experiencing weird weather as well. So I am a creative director and founder of my own creative studio called Hero Nation Studio, where we champion, or I champion, just creative storytelling, and through fiction, where that champions the stories and the voices of Black and oppressed people. And so my intention through this platform is to primarily tell stories that shed light and paint us in an empowering and a unique lens that not only centralizes our pain in a way that provides visibility on our struggles and what we endure, but also centralizes our ability to overcome, and our resiliency and our power and our strength. And that can be manifested and told and shown and visualized through a variety of different ways. And of course, the reason why I'm here today is because, through my studio and through the efforts that I have put in for almost 3 years, I have decided to do my first comic book series, which originally was a graphic novel, but that was just definitely a very monumental task. But now we're here today.
Awesome. And like you said, I've been looking at his work all morning because honestly, I found out about you through Duran Flood, the creator of Atlantic Comic Con, which is coming up in a few weeks. So
Sure.
you guys, if you guys don't know about it and you're in the area of the DC Norfolk area, go ahead and get you some tickets. Going up to Atlantic Comic Con, they got a lot of good guests going on out there. They got the Grits and Egg podcast going to be out there. Conscious Lee is going to be out there. Yeah, so we met through a mutual, Duran Flood, and doing my research, you're an award-winning illustrator.
Yes, I am. I actually won an award last year, a grant for my work, and I was, featured. It was the inaugural sort of an award platform for the first year they did this award, and I just was blessed enough to be featured and to receive the award, and so it was a very, very, very honored, very thankful. I've also just found out that a story that I wrote and drew as a part of an anthology was also the entire anthology was nominated for a literary award. So that's all as well. So I have a hard time sometimes tooting my own horn, but I'm like, let me try to do that more often because I think that's an achievement. So
that's how you're going to progress.
Yes.
Let people know what you're all about, what you did, your accolades, and how hard you worked to get there, because you deserve it. If you earned it, you should be able to talk about it from time to time and let people know why you got it.
But I want to say this right quick too. When it comes to dealing with living in a capitalist, white supremacist society, being someone like myself, who is Black, who is queer, there are tons of voices telling us to shrink, telling us to be small. And so what if we decide to go against that? And we do that in a variety of different ways, just simply by existing, simply by vocalizing our just standing up, being outspoken, and things like that. And even the stories that we tell, and even the representation we celebrate in these stories as well. So
yeah, exactly. Like that's why I feel like that's why a lot of people get into these spaces, find themselves, especially in this nerd world. You find yourself marginalized in some way or form, even if you're not already a person of color.
Yeah.
So we find these avenues where we can express ourselves. Back, like we said, back then we didn't, we express ourselves just in our group. So now we're trying to push it to the forefront of everybody's minds. Let you know that, like, hey, everybody deserves their spotlight. Everybody deserves their lane. Everybody deserves to be a part of this entire community of people. Yeah. And like we said, with everything that's going on in this administration, we need more community than ever. So
okay. Yes.
But the reason you are here, your Kickstarter campaign right now, Star
Wielder.
Star Wielder. I don't know why I said Star Child.
Okay. I like that name though. That's
Star Wielder. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
A story about turning fear into power, which is like goes on what we were just talking about. Taking things that make you feel small and try to express yourself the best way possible.
Yeah.
Give people a little bit of the backstory of Star Wielder.
Of course, I'll give you a little spiel. So yeah, like you said, Star Wielder is a story about turning fear into power. That is in part, as someone who struggles with depression, I take medication for depression, for anxiety. Well, not anxiety, but I do have anxiety. I should probably be on meds for that. But I have OCD as well. It's just a lot of different challenges. And I noticed that with me and working through like things like shadow work and things like that, I was inspired to tell a story that was in part inspired by that journey, because I was, in my 20s, I endured a lot of heaviness when it came to dealing with trauma and my emotions, and even experiencing some suicidal ideation at one point, which was a very traumatic experience. And so I had to learn a lot about fear and facing hard and challenging emotions, and when I realized that the parts of me that are harmed, that are vocalizing the pain, that are shouting, that are being mean, in many of those cases, those parts are wounded themselves. And so when I learned to stop resisting, when I learned to stop fighting, and I said, hey, maybe there's another way, another path towards this, outside of just being combative. Let me try another way. Let me try facing my emotions in a different way, maybe with self-compassion and understanding. And then learning, and let me try facing my shadow so that I can learn to step into my power, my true power. I've eventually learned that we are not just creatures or beings of light. We are beings of the shadow as well. We are come in multitudes of color and hues and shades and everything in between, those absolutes, if you will. And so inspired by that journey, I created a story called Star Wielder, which, as you said, is a story about turning fear into power, that features a 14-year-old Black girl named Kiara Kelly. She's from Detroit. She's powerphobic, and she one day develops the ability mysteriously to wield flames. And so in the story, part of her journey is, of course, learning to deal with her power and ability and to overcome her fear. But she has to do that through facing her shadow. Otherwise, she will risk losing so much, everything and everyone that she loves in the story. And so outside of that, the story is also about grief. It's about loss. And what do we do when we feel that grief and loss, when we lose someone, and we have that pain that whether we can turn to vengeance or we can turn to something else. What do we do with that pain when it takes form inside of us? And so in the story, Kiara, which is the protagonist's name, Kiara Kelly, her story is about ascension. Her story is about her story is a lesson in what it means to turn fear into power. And the antagonist, which you'll find in the story, his name is Jacob, is a warning about what does it mean to turn fear into power. So you have these two characters who are sort of on different sides of the spectrum, and we are experiencing their journeys, and understanding what corruption is, understanding what healing can be through community, what healing can be through self-empowerment and through resiliency, but also through facing our fear, because oftentimes we live in a culture that tells us to run away or to destroy our fear in a lot of cases too. I do understand that, some cases that may work for some people. I don't want to, that's great, but for me, I've learned that for others and like myself, um, realizing that fear has a place in all of us. It literally is built into us for a reason. And so when we realize that trying to destroy it maybe may not be the best option, and so when we realize that it's trying to tell us to be afraid, then maybe we should invite ourselves to question, why should we be afraid? So I always ask why, and that comes from a place of courage. And so ultimately, in that journey to turning fear into power, that is a testament of courage, and that's the journey we'll see Kiara face throughout the journey in this series.
That is the best summary that you could give, because I was looking through a lot of it, and by the way, that is one of my favorite things you can see in a comic book or in superhero things is when saw that a lot of X-Men people get these powers and they're scared of it, but your character is actually a pyrophobic. So it's another layer of fear from the power. So it also makes it really compelling to read, or like it makes me want to read it even more.
Yeah.
Because she's going on this journey of growing up, and also, like you said, am I going to run away from this power or destroy it? But no, I can't. It's in me, so I have to learn to control it. So it teaches other people that, don't always run away. Don't always try to destroy what you're afraid of. Sometimes you have to open up to it. Sometimes you have to learn what it is, or you might be running forever.
Yeah, and that's the point too. And on that journey, because when you're writing characters and stories, you want to make sure you put them on a series of challenges that they learn to grow and develop and change. If that's your goal for that character in the story. And so for Kiara, my goal was to create a series of challenges that molded her both emotionally and physically. But it really had to come from a place of, how is this going to get her closer to facing her fear? And so, for example, the story starts off with, we witness that she grieves the loss of her grandmother, who was a pivotal figure in her life, in the community in Detroit, who was like a community leader. She was like mama. She was grandma. She was the lady you go down the street, get some candy. You want some food? I got you. Come to the community garden.
She was a figure an icon in the neighborhood.
Yes. And so that was her adoptive grandmother, that's who she wants to be one day. She just wants a regular life, and then when she loses her grandmother in a tragic incident, it's not just she dies. It's a tragedy. And I don't want to get into that, but it is a tragedy. But it is something that transforms her, and that is the catalyst by which we see that some of the choices that Kiara makes her different than, for example, someone who also lost someone, which is Jacob, who, again, Jacob is white. He's a boy. He grew up in the 60s, and we
just everything opposite of Kiara.
Kiara,
Kiara, correct? Yeah.
Exactly.
As far opposite as possible.
And the interesting thing about that too is, like, Kiara is in the present day, so she's in like our time, and so we see Jacob's original story in the 60s. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets from there to the present day. It's not going to be what you think, but it's going to be interesting to see how they meet, even though they come from different points in time. But they're very much their legacies are very much connected through a series of events. And so it's through those events that we'll see how they are just opposites, and how Jacob eventually will challenge Kiara in ways that she has never been challenged. And so, but again, the catalyst comes from, think Uncle Ben, think, these characters who have lost people in their lives, who are important and pivotal. So this is Kiara's moment for her when she loses her grandmother.
Nice. That's very cool. You said it took nearly 3 years, just basically 3 years for you to make this story to get to this point. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced in writing this story?
Not wanting to give up, not wanting to just, like, you know what, I'm done. Like, I can't, like, it's hard. This is an investment. This is in time and energy and your soul, and you put so much of yourself and your art and your work and your creativity. You hope that people love and enjoy it and care about it, or at least have interest in it. And so for me, like I said earlier, this started off as a graphic novel. And so I was like committed to getting a book. It was originally 230 something pages, probably a little more than that. My friend and mine, who a mentor, said, you might want to take it down some. I said, no, I got it. So I tried to work it. I'm like, okay, and I'm working on the script. I'm like, he was right. I got to take this down. This is like condensing down to more of a, or spread it out or something. So I did that, and eventually it turned into like 100 and something pages for the graphic novel. Then I say, even this is still a lot for right now for my capacity, because if I had capacity, I would have committed to it. But I said, let me make it even smaller. Let me make this into individual issues, and so that I can at least start to get it out there, because that was important to me too. But I have a tendency to I just wanted to get it done, because I want to make sure that
when you're close to that deadline, you're like, all right, or not the deadline. And when you get close to the finish, you're like, okay, you tend to might accidentally rush it a bit, and you got to catch yourself.
You know what? Okay, it's about self accountability, and also I wanted to make sure that I want people to experience this story, and I feel like there are a lot of benefits that I kind of weighed that why having going the issue based way was maybe more advantageous for me right now. Not to say that I won't revisit a graphic novel in the future, but right now I feel like this is more beneficial.
Nice. Now, when did you actually launch the campaign? Was it yesterday?
Yeah, I launched it yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been freaking out ever since. So what is sleep? I don't know.
How many hours have you slept since then?
Oh, what? Okay, I don't know.
Why are you asking so many questions? Mind your business.
No. I have to make sure not to check this thing. It's right here on my other screen, so I'm trying to check and refresh the screen again. But I'm just it's an anxiety-inducing experience. It's my first Kickstarter. I've done crowdfunding campaigns in the past. In the past, when I used to run a nonprofit, and I've raised funds for events and things like that. One was an event back in 2018 that I raised over $4,000, or I think more for. It was more than that to see the $10,000.
So you're not nervous because it's really new. You're nervous because it's yours.
Well, it's mine, but it's Kickstarter is the all or nothing, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Where the GoFundMe or the other platforms are they don't have that same model per se.
Gotcha.
You can still get the money even if you don't make your goal. But Kickstarter, a little more pressure. So I'm like, oh, I didn't anticipate this. And so when I launched it, with me again having anxiety, it was like, oh shoot, I'm trembling a bit, this is getting to me. I was not expecting this level of emotion. So I had to literally sit down and be like, what do I do with this? And again, this is kind of what the story is about. Sitting down with your pain, your emotion. And this is me, as someone who tries to be very self-reflective and introspective, I say, I notice that. I feel that emotion. I feel that anger or that sadness or that anxiety or that fear. Let me sit with this for a bit. Let me see where this is coming from. Let me talk myself through it, and then when I get to a place where I can sit with it, that doesn't mean it'll go away, but I can accept that it's there. And then I can move on with my day. It'll still hurt sometimes. Right now, there's a lot of anxiety that I feel about this campaign, right?
Yeah.
All of those things. But through that, I'm going to sit with it anyway. Even if it, if the situation happens that it doesn't succeed, will it hurt? Absolutely. But through that, I will handle that too, and be able to, again, turn that pain into purpose. Again, this is what my journey has been about. And I really do hope people see that in this story. Because I'm putting so much of what I've learned into this comic.
Yep. A lot of passion chasing is risk reward. So you cannot be afraid. To the people out there, if you're listening, you cannot be afraid to take a step.
Yeah.
Take a try, take a shot.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're just going to be exactly where you are. And it won't leave your mind. You're still going to think about it for the rest of your life.
What is this? What if all the what ifs?
It's just going to get louder the older you get.
Let me tell you right now.
Wait to do it.
Yeah. I still regret, on my graduation, this is a while ago, in college.
Yeah, you see, it happens.
I remember, I remember in college that the graduation ceremony, I had this whole thing. I was gonna rip open my gown, twirl my Superman shirt, and do the whole thing. I did it a little bit, but I was too scared.
You didn't commit.
I didn't commit. I was like, eh. Exactly. So all these years later, exactly. All these years later, I'm like, dang. But yeah, learn, right?
Yep. We all have, especially any school era of our lives. We all have one or two from each
Oh my
era.
God,
We're
yeah.
like, ooh, why did I do it like that? Why didn't I do it like that?
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, speaking to you having the anxiety and with the campaign going on right now, what are you doing to occupy your time? Are you working on anything new?
Well, I got other work I got to do, so I still have to
Yeah.
live, pay rent, things like that. So I got to focus on other commissions and things of that sort. So that's still happening. I am accepting commissions, by the way, everybody.
I was gonna shout that out as well.
Yeah.
I saw the post.
Thank you. Appreciate
I was
that.
like, I got him. I got you.
Appreciate that. So I am accepting commissions. So, 'cause but I'm juggling multiple things right now. But outside of that, just stepping outside and getting time away from the screen, because whether it be my phone or like my monitors here, even the TV is like, I got to step away.
It's
like,
a screen, Let me get
it's a
something.
screen, yeah. And I've been outside, getting a taste of the sun, even just before a bit, just changes me. Like, I got a big ass tree in the backyard here here where I live, and it's just nice to look at it. And I often, like, I remember asking it, I was like, I was thinking to myself, like, I wonder how old you are.
Yeah.
Being inquisitive about nature and like what's around us, because sometimes we get so bogged.
That's funny, because I do that from time to time. I work in pest control. I'll be like, how old are you?
Yeah, see? Okay.
I'm curious about trees. I like trees. There's a podcast I listened to about, it was a podcast called Pablo Torre Finds Out, and he finds out about a bunch of random things that mean nothing but will have you captivated. And it was the name of the episode was Hitler's Oaks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about Jesse Owens winning the Olympics and coming back. Hitler gave everybody an oak sapling.
Mm-hmm.
And most people threw it out and things like that. But Jesse Owens, being from where he's from and not having like concrete jungle, they didn't have trees, so he planted it in his city, and and it grew, and it was like a big deal in its city. And last year, 2 years ago, there was like a whole movement to save that tree.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so I like trees. So like when you say how old are you, it's not weird here. Maybe the people listening might think we're weird, but I'm okay with that.
Good. Like I even go up to, like, it's nice to just even touch the tree, and like it's nice to get all your senses activated when you're out in nature. Like sometimes on hikes or walks, so things like that is what I try to do. I like, making music. I do that as well. Like I made a theme song to this Bang On series as well.
Yeah.
Like I try to keep myself preoccupied in other ways. So
what do you play?
Piano.
Okay.
Keyboard. Well, right now I've been mostly making everything on, like, online, or not online, but on my MacBook. So I do. I guess I'm rediscovering my love for production in that kind of way, musical production that kind of way. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's on my bucket list. Learning how to play the piano.
Oh my God, it's great, because
I learned guitar on YouTube about 10 years ago or whatever.
Okay, that's where it's at.
So like I love music as well, and piano. I'm like, I just want to know how to do it.
It's just a beautiful, lovely instrument. Like I would recommend for anyone, like, you can, like, learn how to play the piano. It's nice.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my son into it. I bought him a keyboard. He's like, what is this? He's sick.
My mom bought me a $3,000 keyboard back when I was in high school. I still have that keyboard today, and it's still working. It is my baby. I call her Grace. It got me through so much. The songs I've made on that thing, like, through high school, through nothing, like, it was,
I ain't gonna put you on the spot and ask you to play for him.
Oh, no, I would have it with me right now. Like, it's not.
He said, you can't. But tell me more about that anthology series that you were a part of.
Yeah, it's called We Belong. It's an anthology. I think it's one of the first, if not the first, queer fantasy sci-fi based anthology series or books. And it's by Victor Kearney, and then William, I forgot his last name, but those are the editors on the book.
Hmm.
And so yeah, it just really celebrates queer creators and through the sci-fi fantastical lens. And I just happened to create the story that I made in there was actually the pilot Star Wielder story that was 10 pages. So before I even, as I was making the novel, I was saying, I kind of want to get some practice in. So this is a great opportunity for me to get it out there, get it started, see how people resonate with the idea. And so yeah, that's how that kind of came about. Also I did the cover for that book as well, so which is great.
Okay. And illustration was your passion or first love?
I guess yeah.
In this comic book world, I'm not sure piano or whatever.
Well, my life is interesting because I grew up a fine and performing artist, so my mom was very supportive in that way. I grew up singing, and I still sing. I went to college, and my minored in dance in college, ballet, modern, hip hop, jazz, musical theater. I was a major in graphic design, so I'm a professional graphic designer, professional brand strategist. So I have a variety of different of different experiences that has led me to who I am today.
Very cool. I feel like we're a lot alike, except you actually went to school and I did not.
Okay, it's okay, yeah.
Because I was in the dance crew in high school. Break dancing. We were like a real crew. We wanted to be. What was that show? America's Best Dance Crew on MTV. We thought we were going to be there one day. We thought we was going to be there. I love music. Mom had been in church, was in chorus a lot, but I just went the regular working route. I wanted to get away from the family. I ran to North Carolina.
No, I get you.
And I just got a job. Is
oh man,
next on your writing list? Do you have anything that you're looking towards, or something you're already working on?
Well, right now, primarily my focus is just on this story. I was writing in the middle of writing another story called The Black Boy Who Roared, but whole thing, but I love that story too. It's just this story is also taking up so much time as well. So as I'm learning, because I'm still learning more about myself in this medium as a writer, and also as an illustrator as well, because comics are different than just straight up a pinup or a cover, or those kinds of things, or a mural, for example. You have to, like, as I'm creating the story or like visualizing everything, creating the different panels, it was like a movie playing in my head. Like each page was a different scene. I said, okay, let me sit down and figure out a color palette for each scene to make sure that the emotions are being conveyed correctly that I'm going for. So, for example, the first 2 pages of the story, you see a lot of blues, represents grief and depression and trauma and sadness. A lot of yellows to represent, joy. While in that same experience is a funeral scene, there are people celebrating the life of Kiara's grandmother. So you get those mix, and also reds, which represents love and passion and anger and all those kinds of things too. But a variety of different things. So you get an accumulation of different things when it comes to like the representations of how I use color and things like that. And I learned a lot about, how to do that specifically through comics in different ways as I, created this story.
Okay.
As I'm creating this story, because I'm still working on it. So
yeah. Real quick, I did want to show you. Have you heard of Blurred Station? So while we have you here, I wanted to show you the website for Blurred Station.
Okay.
And obviously, Blurred Station is a Black streaming service focused on Black and people of color IP. They have a bunch of different things up here. They have TV shows, Blurred Station Originals right here. And they have shows that are currently being shot right now. There's one called Blood Dealers.
Okay.
They're working on, you'll see Kevin Murphy. He's one of the founders. He'll post about it from time to time. They have animations down here. Now, do you want to see a trailer of an animation, or do you want to see a trailer of a TV show?
The animation, that's fine.
All right. I was hoping you'd say that because I want to show you this one. This is my favorite one. Mighty Grand Pitone. But yes, everybody, please go check out J Hero and Hero Studios. Am I saying that correctly as well?
Hero Nation Studio.
Hero Nation Studios. And check him out. Get a commission. He's a fantastic artist, award-winning illustrator. So, I mean, why not? Are you going to any conventions soon or anything? What is on your calendar where people can find you?
Yeah, well, right now, unfortunately, just things are a little tight right now, so I don't have the funds to go to any conventions right now. But everything is right now full focus on Star Wielder. If I have any other projects, I'll be sure to announce those. And of course, in between everything, I'm doing commissions as well, so I'll be announcing those as well if people are interested in seeing what other client projects I'm working on. So yeah, and if you're interested too, you can check out my studio website at heronationstudio.com.
Awesome. And any other social media handles you have that you want the people to know?
Yeah, so it's all my social media handles are the same. It's the letter IMJAY Hero. So at I'm J Hero. In which you can also find the Kickstarter and all of my social media links, profile links.
Awesome. Yeah, and about any announcements that you have and you need a platform to voice something, because everybody goes through rough patches. I'm going to Atlanta Comic-Con, but I don't think I got it like that right now. I'm going to go ahead and just assume that you're a friend of the show now. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say it. I'm assuming that you think of me as a friend as well. Okay. And the door's always open. If you got something to say, hit us up. We'll be here. My other co-hosts, they'd love to meet you. Okay. Our main podcast we do on Sundays usually.
Okay.
So I did hit them up. I was like, I know it's Friday in the middle of the morning. Anybody want to join in on this?
Yeah. I know. It is early still, but I've been up all morning, so I'm like, it doesn't feel that early to me. But
yeah, I mean, you already see how the community has reached out. Like we connected that quickly through Duran Flood, and he hit up 3 other people aside from me, to talk about your campaign. So I have faith that you are going to get it done. So.